Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are cracking the code on the ICSE English language paper. Look, this isn't just about memorizing grammar rules. Nope. This is about building a foolproof strategy, a real playbook, so you can walk in there and absolutely master paper one.
So, let's start with a big question. What do you think is the #1 mistake students make on this exam? I'll give you a hint. It's probably not what you're thinking. It's not some obscure grammar rule or a silly spelling error. It's actually something much, much bigger. The real mistake is falling for the exact same traps that graders see year after year after year. So if you want to get those top marks, we've got to get inside the grader's head. We need to figure out what they're looking for so we can sidestep those common pitfalls completely. And here they are. Check these out. These are the classic blunders that cost students big points. Writing way over the word limit. Picking a complex story when a simple description would have scored higher. Sentences that just ramble on forever. Totally losing focus and, yep, you guessed it, trying to sneak in a movie plot and pass it off as an original story. Don't worry, we're going to make sure you avoid every single one of these.
Okay, let's get into our first power move, which I like to call sentence sorcery. This is all about taking simple sentences and twisting them, transforming them to really show off your grammar skills and, wow the examiner right from the get-go. So let's start with a really simple one. Just think of unless as a shortcut for if not. That's all it is. So when you swap out if for unless, all you have to do is flip the second part of the sentence from positive to negative. It's a super clean, really effective trick to add some variety. Now this one is a classic. It's a fantastic way to show you understand a powerful grammar rule called inversion. Just look at what happens when you start with no sooner. The helping verb did literally jumps in front of the subject, she. It's a pretty sophisticated structure and it adds this great sense of emphasis that really makes your writing pop.
Okay, for this one, the whole secret is realizing that the word to, well, it has this kind of hidden negative meaning. When you say someone is too weak, you're already implying they can't do something. The so-that structure just makes that negative idea crystal clear by adding the word cannot. It shows a really nice precision in your language.
All right, power move number 2. This is a skill that really, and I mean really, separates the good from the great writers. It's all about accurately reporting what someone else has said. If you can nail direct and indirect speech, it shows you have a deep command of tense and sentence structure.
So what's the difference? It's pretty basic when you break it down. Direct speech is literally a quote. You're using the speaker's exact words, quotation marks, and all. But indirect speech is you reporting their message, and that means you often have to shift things around. Pronouns, tenses, and even little words like changing now to then.
You know what? Just think of this slide as your ultimate cheat sheet for tense changes, especially when the reporting verb is in the past, like she said. See the pattern? Everything just takes one step back in time. Simple present becomes simple past. Present continuous becomes past continuous. Even simple past takes another step back to past perfect. It's a rule you can totally rely on every single time. So what do you do with questions? Well, it's a simple 4-step process. First, change said to asked. Easy. Second, if it's a yes or no question, you're going to use if or whether. Third, if it starts with something like what or where, just reuse that word. And finally, and this is the big one, you have to turn the question back into a normal statement. That means no more question marks.
Okay, now it's time to put it all together. Let's talk about the master strategy. We're going to take all these skills and apply them to the single most important 20-mark behemoth on your paper, the composition. Seriously, forget about wasting precious minutes in the exam hall counting every single word. This little rule right here, this is the secret weapon to hitting that perfect 300 to 350 word count every time without any of the stress.
So how does this magic work? It's simple. You just aim for about 7 words per sentence, then about 7 sentences per paragraph, and finally about 7 paragraphs in total. Now look, this is not a strict, unbreakable law, okay? It's a guideline, but it naturally pushes you to write concise sentences, focused paragraphs, and an essay that lands right in that target word count. No penalties for you. This is huge. You have got to choose your battle wisely. Examiners say it over and over again. Students almost always score higher on narrative and descriptive essays. And the reason is simple, right? You get to write about your own life, your own experiences. That makes it so much easier to sound authentic and original.
It's way, way safer than trying to invent a whole new plot on the spot or getting all tangled up trying to defend one side of an argument.
Okay, and finally, let's talk about the finishing touches, the pro tips that take a good essay and make it great. First, always start with a strong hook, maybe a quote or a cool idiom. Use connector words to make your paragraphs flow smoothly. Write from your perspective as a student, it's what you know. And find the main keyword in the prompt and build everything around that idea. And for the ending, just reflect on your feelings and finish on a positive note.
So, let's bring this all home. Think of this as your final pocket-sized playbook for exam day. This is everything you need to remember, all in one place. Here it is, your 4-point action plan. First, get those 3-sentence transformations down cold. Second, memorize the tense shifts for reporting speech, no excuses. Third, make the smart choice. Always pick a narrative or descriptive essay. And fourth, structure that essay using the 7x7x7 rule. I'm telling you, focusing on just these 4 things will have the biggest impact on your final score.
So there you have it. You've got the insider's guide, the strategies, the power moves. You know the traps to watch out for, and the tricks that will make an examiner sit up and take notice. The only question left is, are you ready to go out there and use it?